Most men think a good morning text makes a woman feel special. But here's the truth, my friend. The wrong message makes you look weak, replaceable, and way too available. And women feel that instantly. Your words either spark desire or kill it before the day even starts. Let's be real. A lot of guys wake up, grab their phone, and send the same soft, predictable line every morning. Good morning, beautiful. Hope you slept well. Thinking of you. And then they wonder why she replies dry, slow, or not at all. It's not because she doesn't like you. It's because your message carries no weight, no presence, no masculine energy. Nothing that stays in her mind once she sets her phone down. But the file reveals something powerful. A woman doesn't fall for your words. She falls for the energy behind your words. When the message is grounded, intentional, and a little mysterious, it hits her differently. It makes her think about you while she's driving, working, or even talking to someone else. It creates that psychological anchor that pulls her attention back to you again and again. Today I'll give you 10 morning messages built on psychology, desire, and Stoic principles. These aren't cute. These aren't needy. These are the lines that trigger curiosity, feminine softness, and quiet obsession. Let's get into it. Number 1. The morning line that sparks her curiosity. My friend, most men ruin their chances before the day even begins because they send predictable, soft, approval-seeking morning messages. The file makes this extremely clear. The moment she knows exactly what you're going to text, her interest drops. Curiosity dies, polarity fades, and the message you sent hoping to get closer actually pushes her further away. But when your words carry weight, when your tone isn't needy but grounded, when the message hints at something she can't fully read, that is when her mind locks onto you. And once her mind locks on, her desire follows right behind it. Let me bring this to life with a real, everyday situation. David, 56, from North Carolina, was texting a woman he had been seeing for a few months. She liked him, but her replies were short, delayed, and emotionless. He thought she was losing interest. But the truth was simpler. Every morning he sent the exact same line. Good morning, hope you rest well. It wasn't wrong, it was boring. It had no polarity, no direction, no masculine energy. Contrast that with the morning she finally reacted differently. That morning he didn't send a long check-in. He didn't ask a question. He didn't try to start a conversation. He simply sent, "You crossed my mind." 10 seconds later she replied with, "In what way?" Curiosity activated instantly. This is the psychological core. The file emphasizes a woman is attracted not to certainty, but to intrigue. The moment she starts wondering what you're thinking, how you meant it, or what you're feeling beneath the words, her mind begins building tension on its own. And tension is desire in disguise. This message works because it flips the frame. Instead of you seeking her attention, the message tells her she already has it, but without explaining how or why. It's clean, it's masculine. It plants a question, not a request. This is where Stoicism supports everything. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your thoughts are anxious, your texts become clingy. If your thoughts are grounded, your texts become powerful. A Stoic man doesn't send words to get validation. He sends words that reflect a centered mind. He speaks simply, directly, and with restraint. And women feel that restraint as strength. Here's what the file makes clear. The goal of a morning message is not to impress her. It's to shift her emotional state. Soft words don't shift anything. Predictable lines don't shift anything. But a message that invites her curiosity shifts everything. When you send a line like, "You crossed my mind," she doesn't know what part of her did it. Her smile, her voice, the last conversation, the way she looked yesterday, that ambiguity wakes up her feminine imagination, and a woman's imagination is far more powerful than any long paragraph you could send. David told me later that the tone of their entire day changed. She texted more, she flirted more, she asked questions. She leaned in emotionally because his message created space instead of filling it. That is the secret. A man who creates space becomes the man she gravitates toward. If you know your messages have been too predictable or too soft, strengthen your frame in the comments. Comment this, I spark curiosity. Stay with me, the next part shows the kind of look in your text that triggers desire instantly. Number 2. The text that makes her feel your presence. My friend, this part is where most men fail without even knowing it. The file makes something painfully clear. Women don't miss a man because he sends long messages. They miss a man because his presence can be felt even through a short line. Presence is not about volume. Presence is not about constant texting. Presence is about energetic impact. When your message carries the weight of a grounded man, she feels it in her body before she even processes the words. Most guys do the opposite. They text with nervous energy. They text to get attention. They text because they don't know what else to do with their anxiety. Their words are filled with, "I hope I just wanted to check. Did you sleep well?" or "Good morning." These lines are not bad. They're empty, they're light, they disappear the moment she reads them. They do not leave an imprint. The file explains that the text that makes her feel your presence is calm, anchored, and delivered with the tone of a man who is already in motion, already in control of himself, already living with purpose. Something like, "Up before the Sunday. Stay sharp today, not needy, not romantic, not asking for anything." It communicates direction, discipline, and steadiness. A woman feels that energy immediately because it signals a man who is rooted in himself. This connects deeply with Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "At dawn, when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising for the work of a human being." Stoics understood something most men forget: the way you begin. Your morning reveals the state of your mind. A disciplined morning creates a disciplined presence, and disciplined presence translates directly into the tone of your messages. Women read energy far more than they read words. If you wake up scattered, she feels scattered energy in your text. If you wake up with purpose, she feels masculine direction, and masculine direction creates feminine response. The file points out a powerful psychological truth. A woman is far more affected by a man whose life is already in motion than by a man waiting for her reply. The right morning message tells her, "I'm focused, I'm moving, I'm steady, and I'm thinking of you without losing myself." That is presence. And here's the part. Most men never learn your presence in texting is not about declaring authority. It's about removing noise. When your message is short, grounded, and delivered without emotional clutter, it cuts through her morning. It stands out against the dozens of light, pointless notifications she scrolls past. Your words have gravity because you have gravity. The file explains that women crave this kind of energy not because it's dominant, but because it's calming. A grounded man settles her nervous system. He gives her something stable to feel. He creates that subtle shift where she goes from distracted to aware, from passive to responsive, from indifferent to interested. A presence-filled text doesn't pull her toward you. It draws her. There's a difference. Pulling comes from need. Drawing comes from confidence. When she feels you without you trying, that's when her desire starts warming up again. If you've been texting from anxiety instead of awareness, anchor the shift in the comments. Comment this, "I text with presence." Stay with me, the next part shows how a simple message can pull her feminine energy out instantly. Number 3. The message that pulls her feminine energy out. My friend, this is where most men misunderstand women completely. The file makes it obvious. A woman does not drop into her feminine energy because you flatter her. She drops into it when your message carries masculine certainty. Feminine energy is a response, not a reaction. It awakens when she feels guided, not when she feels chased. And the right morning message can flip that switch instantly. Let me ground this with a real situation. Michael, 57, from Colorado, had been texting a woman named Laura, 53. They liked each other, but every time he sent a good morning message, he sounded more like a polite coworker than a man she could feel. Long paragraphs, too many emojis, asking how she slept, trying to be sweet. And the more he texted like that, the more her replies turned into single words. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He just wasn't creating polarity. One morning he changed everything. Instead of trying to be gentle or affectionate, he sent a single line, "Handle your day. I'll see you later." Laura responded within minutes. Her reply was longer than any she sent in weeks. Why? Because that line awakened something in her. It didn't ask, it didn't chase, it didn't seek validation. It directed. And direction is the language of masculine energy. The file stresses this point again and again. A woman becomes softer around a man who moves with intention. When your energy is solid, her energy relaxes. When your tone is grounded, her guard lowers. When you lead subtly, her feminine side emerges without effort. Masculine direction doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be demanding. It doesn't have to be controlling. A simple, intentional line can create a shift inside her that soft words never will. And this is exactly where Stoicism aligns with modern psychology. Epictetus said, "First, see clearly, then choose, then act." A Stoic man doesn't ask the world to shape him. He shapes the world through clarity and calm action. When you text from that place, clarity, first, action, second, she feels it. Not mentally, but physically. Your message lands in her body, not just her phone. Most morning messages men send are about reassurance. They come from a place of insecurity. "I hope you're thinking about me. I hope your day is good. I hope you slept well." But the message that pulls her feminine energy out isn't about hope. It's about direction. It's about tone. It's about a subtle protective energy that makes her feel something she hasn't felt all morning: polarity. When a man says, "Handle your day," what she hears is, "I trust you. I'm rooted. I'm not chasing." When he adds, "I'll see you later," what she feels is, he's leading without forcing. That's the energy her feminine responds to. Michael told me that after that simple shift, Laura's entire vibe changed. She called him instead of texting. She flirted more. She leaned into his presence. Not because he became more romantic, but because he became more masculine in the way he communicated. Feminine energy needs something strong to relax into. When your message carries that strength, she can finally exhale. She can feel you. She can react to you. She can become softer with you. If you've been sending messages that are too gentle, too long, or too uncertain, anchor your shift in the comments. Comment this: "I lead with intention." Stay tuned. Next we'll talk about the subtle challenge that makes her chase the conversation. Number 4. The subtle challenge she can't ignore. My friend, this is where things start getting interesting. The file makes something crystal clear. Women are not attracted to men who hand over emotional certainty on a silver platter. They are attracted to men who create micro-tension, a small spark of uncertainty that wakes up their curiosity and makes them lean forward instead of leaning away. And the fastest way to create that spark is through a subtle challenge, not disrespectful, not arrogant, but delivered with the confidence of a man who knows his value. Most guys do the exact opposite. They send polite, predictable morning messages, hoping to win points. They write things like, "I hope your day goes well," or "Let me know if you need anything today." Safe, comfortable, completely forgettable. There is nothing for her mind to chew on, nothing for her emotions to respond to. But a subtle challenge flips the dynamic instantly. The file gives a perfect example of this kind of line. "Let's see what you do with today." Short, clean, masculine. And more importantly, it places a light challenge in her path. That one sentence does two things at once. First, it signals confidence, a man with direction, a man with standards. Second, it awakens her natural desire to respond, to match your energy, to rise to the level you're setting. Women don't fall for men they can easily predict. They fall for men who activate their inner engagement. This is where Stoic wisdom reinforces the psychology behind the message. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." A subtle challenge communicates exactly that you are rooted in your own mind, your own direction, your own rhythm. You're not checking in, you're not chasing, you're not trying to be cute. You're inviting her into a frame where you already stand strong. And women feel that. Not mentally, not logically, but in their nervous system. When you send a challenge instead of a compliment, you shift her energy from passive to active. You pull her out of autopilot. She stops scrolling and starts thinking. She starts imagining conversations with you. She starts matching your tone. She becomes emotionally involved, and emotional involvement is the foundation of desire. The file emphasizes that the subtle challenge works because it places you and her on two different energetic poles. You provide direction. She responds to direction. You provide structure. She provides flow. Masculine challenge, feminine reaction. It's polarity in one line. And here's what most men miss: a challenge does not need to be harsh. It does not need to be confrontational. It does not need to be a test. It simply needs to carry the quiet confidence of a man who expects engagement, not because he's demanding it, but because he naturally inspires it. A challenge like, "Let's see what you do with today," tells her three things. You're already moving. You expect the best from yourself. You expect the best from her. That is the kind of message that makes her think about you while she's driving, while she's getting ready for work, and even while she's talking to someone else. It lingers because it carries strength without pressure. If you want to take these skills deeper, where I break down tone, pacing, and the masculine frame behind every message, make sure you join the membership. Inside, we sharpen this identity day by day so your words carry real weight. Now let's keep going. The next part shows you the grounded line that feels unmistakably masculine. Number 5. The grounded line that feels masculine. My friend, this is the moment most men finally understand why their messages fall flat. The file says it straight: women don't respond to softness in the morning. They respond to grounded masculine energy, not loud, not aggressive, not emotional, just stable, calm, intentional. The kind of energy that makes her feel like she's dealing with a man whose life is already in motion, not a man waiting for her response to feel complete. Let me show you what this looks like in a real situation. Greg, 58, from Ohio, had been texting a woman named Maria, 55. He liked her, but every morning his messages were too gentle, too polished, too careful. "Good morning. Hope you have a wonderful day. Wishing you sunshine today." Sending positive energy your way. They were sweet, but they had no weight, no signature, no masculine grounding. And the file makes this very clear. Sweetness without grounding feels like noise. It blends into every other man in her inbox. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't spark anything inside her. But one morning, after Greg decided to shift his frame, he sent something entirely different. Morning. Stay focused. 8 letters. 2 words. And she responded in minutes, not hours. Why? Because grounded masculinity doesn't ramble. It doesn't fill space. It doesn't over-explain. It sends a signal. It sets a tone. It creates presence without needing validation. This is where the psychology from the file aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius said, "If a thing is within your control, take command of it. If it is not, release it." Grounded texting is exactly that. You control your tone. You control your energy. You control your intention. You are not trying to control her response. A grounded line tells her, you're awake, you're centered, you're focused, and you're not sending a message because you need her attention. You're sending it because it reflects the way you start your day. That is masculine. And women feel it instantly. Back to Greg and Maria. She later admitted that the shift in his tone made her feel him again, not because the words were romantic, but because they came from a man who wasn't floating through the morning. The line made her pause. It made her think of him while brushing her hair, while grabbing her coffee, while driving to work. Grounded energy works because it creates emotional gravity. Most men send emotional dust light scattered, forgettable. A grounded line lands with a thud. It centers her. It affects her rhythm. It makes her aware of you. And here's the part most men never grasp: a grounded message doesn't try to lead her. It simply is leadership. She feels your frame. She feels your steadiness. She feels that you're not texting to be liked. You're texting because your energy naturally carries weight. A grounded line like morning, stay focused, tells her 4 things. You're disciplined, you're clear-headed, you're already in motion, and you're not operating from insecurity. That is masculine presence in text form. Greg went from getting dry one-word replies to getting flirtation emojis and invitations, not because he changed his personality, but because he changed his energy. If you know your messages have been too soft or too sweet, anchor your shift in the comments. Comment this: I speak from center. Stay tuned. The next part reveals the mystery line that lingers in her mind all day. Number 6. The mystery text that stays in her mind. My friend, this is the point in the file where everything becomes psychological. The strongest message you can send in the morning is not the sweetest, not the most romantic, and definitely not the longest. The strongest message is the one that leaves unfinished meaning. A line that opens a loop in her mind and doesn't close it. Because once a woman's mind opens a loop, she keeps returning to it all day, consciously or not. The file calls this the Zeigarnik effect. The brain automatically holds on to things that feel incomplete. And this effect is incredibly powerful when used with masculine intention. That's why a mystery text works. Not because you're being vague, not because you're playing games, but because you're activating her imagination, and her imagination is where desire actually lives. A message like, "That thought I had about you last night." You don't explain it. You don't finish the sentence. You don't add a winky emoji or a heart. You let her mind run the rest of the distance. And she will. Because the moment she reads a text like that, her thoughts pull inward. Her curiosity lights up. Her day shifts. Now she's picturing what you meant, what you felt, what you thought. And that curiosity becomes emotional tension. The file explains something that most men never understand. Mystery creates more desire than clarity ever will. When everything is explained, nothing is exciting. When everything is predictable, nothing is magnetic. When everything is literal, nothing stirs her imagination. Mystery is not distance. Mystery is depth. It hints at more without revealing more. And this is exactly where Stoic wisdom fits perfectly. Seneca wrote, "What is well begun is half done." The mystery text begins something in her and leaves space for her to complete it. Stoicism teaches restraint, intention, selective expression. A Stoic man doesn't spill every detail of his inner world. He reveals only what is necessary, and that restraint creates strength. A mystery text follows that same principle. You spark interest, but you don't chase it. You offer direction, but you don't explain yourself. You say enough to awaken her, not enough to satisfy her. The file emphasizes that women are especially sensitive to subtle emotional openings. When a text hints at something unfinished, it taps directly into her feminine imagination. Feminine energy responds to possibility, not certainty. to curiosity, not control, to tension, not resolution. And here's the difference between a boy's mystery and a man's mystery. A boy hides because he's insecure. A man reveals selectively because he's grounded. When your mystery comes from grounded energy, she doesn't feel confused, she feels pulled in. That's the difference. She doesn't see it as secrecy, she sees it as depth. The file describes how women often replay these short, mysterious lines in their heads throughout the day. Not because they want to, but because the line triggers imagination, and imagination is far more powerful than explanation. A message like, "That thought I had about you last night," begins to haunt her curiosity. She thinks about it while brushing her teeth, while choosing her outfit, while driving. Even hours later, the line sits in the back of her mind, creating a soft internal pull toward you. That's what mystery does. It makes her return to you again and again without you saying another word. If you're ready to shift from predictable to magnetic, anchor it in the comments. Comment this, "I create mystery." Stay with me, the next part reveals the tease that sparks real sexual tension without crossing any lines. Number 7. The tease that creates sexual tension. My friend, this is the moment in the file where things shift from curiosity to chemistry. And you need to understand this. Clearly, women don't feel sexual tension from graphic words. They feel it from suggestion, from energy, from the space between what you say and what you leave unsaid. The tease is powerful not because it's dirty, but because it's controlled. Masculine restraint with a spark under it. That's what wakes up her feminine desire. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. Daniel, 56, from Nevada, had been texting a woman named Erin, 54. They enjoyed each other's company, but the spark wasn't showing up in their messages. Everything felt polite, predictable, safe. And safe is the fastest way to make a woman's interest go cold. He kept texting her sweet lines in the morning, hoping to be thoughtful, but sweetness without tension becomes invisible. One morning he changed his approach. Instead of a cute compliment or a check-in, he sent, "You'd laugh if you knew what crossed my mind when I saw your name pop up." That was it. Simple, calm, suggestive, but not explicit. Her reply came fast. "What did you think? That's sexual tension. Not because you said something sexual, but because you activated her imagination." Women feel desire from what they imagine, not from what you spell out. The file emphasizes this over and over again. Tension is created when you hint without revealing, when you open a door, but don't walk through it first. Men make two big mistakes here. Some guys are too soft, too literal, too good morning sunshine. Others go too explicit, too fast, too desperate. Both kill tension. The tease sits right in the middle. Controlled energy, grounded tone. A line that wakes her up inside without crossing any lines. And this is exactly where Stoicism becomes your anchor. Seneca wrote, "Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery." A tease only works when it comes from self-control. When you're not trying to make her react, but simply letting her feel the subtle edge of your presence. Not pushing, not performing, not trying to shock her. Just letting your masculine energy leak through one carefully placed sentence. The file explains that the tease works because it makes her body respond before her logic catches up. She feels a small rise of warmth in her chest, a slight shift in her breathing, a tiny spark of anticipation. That's what tension actually is, a rise without release. When you don't resolve it, her mind keeps returning to the moment on its own. Back to Daniel. After that one message, Erin initiated more. She flirted back. She teased him. She started adding longer replies. She reached out first the next morning, not because he said anything sexual, but because he created space for sexual energy to build on its own. That's the secret men never learn. Sexual tension is not built by spelling things out. It's built by letting her imagination run a little wild. Your job is not to finish the thought, it's to plant the seed. A line like, "You'd laugh if you knew what crossed my mind," doesn't push, it invites. And invitation is much stronger than pursuit. If you've been too straightforward or too safe with your messages, anchor your shift in the comments. Comment this, "I create tension." Stay with me, the next part shows you the Stoic note that makes you unforgettable in her mind. Number 8. The Stoic note that makes you stand out. My friend, this is the part of the file where things shift from flirting to influence. Most men send morning messages that sound emotional, cute, or needy. But the message that makes you stand out, the one she remembers, the one she replays in her head, is the message that carries philosophy, depth, and masculine grounding. The file highlights this repeatedly. Women are drawn to men who think not, men who beg. A Stoic note does exactly that. It shows calm, strength, discipline, direction without boasting, without preaching. It's a glimpse into your inner world delivered in one clean line. And when it's done right, it hits her differently than anything she gets from other men. A line like, "Discipline first, everything else after." It's not romantic, it's not needy, it's not even about her. And that's exactly why it works. When she reads something like this first thing in the morning, it signals something powerful. You're a man with a code. A man who isn't ruled by his emotions, his cravings, or his need for attention. You're operating from intention, not impulse. And women feel that as stability. They feel it as strength. They feel it as masculine gravity. This is where Stoic philosophy fits perfectly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." A Stoic morning message teaches her the color of your thoughts without you over-explaining them. It shows her what your mind is anchored to. It gives her a glimpse of your discipline, your internal compass, your personal standard. And here's what the file emphasizes strongly. Women are attracted to the man whose mind influences her, not the man who tries to impress her. Most guys talk about themselves in long paragraphs, but a Stoic line communicates 10 times more with 10 times fewer words. Another example from the file's tone might look like, "Run your day, don't let it run you." Short, direct, rooted. It has weight because it's coming from a man who lives it. And women notice. Even if she doesn't reply right away, even if her response seems simple, she remembers this line throughout her day. Because unlike every other man sending flowers and sunshine messages, your line gave her something to think about, something that elevates her, something that reflects self-mastery. And that's the key. A Stoic note makes you stand out because it gives her a feeling of elevation, not emotional clinginess, not neediness, not flattery, but an upward pull toward clarity and strength. The file explains that these messages create subtle respect. When you write like a man who knows himself, she starts reading your messages more carefully. She slows down. She wonders what your mornings look like. She imagines your rhythm, your habits, your discipline. In a world full of men who chase attention, the man who carries himself with quiet philosophy becomes unforgettable. The best part, a Stoic note is never about performance. It's simply you expressing your internal standard in a single line. You're not trying to sound wise. You're not trying to impress her. You're not trying to win points. You're living your frame, and she feels it. When you say something like discipline first, everything else after, you're not giving her a rule. You're showing her the man behind the message. And that, my friend, is rare. Rare is attractive. Depth is attractive. A mind with structure is attractive. If you're ready to stop texting like every other man and start texting like a grounded, disciplined one, anchor it in the comments. Comment this, "My words have discipline." Stay with me, the next part reveals the silent image that keeps you in her thoughts all day. Number 9. The silent